Okay,
Yeah.
well, this
Morphling?
Morphling pickup, I got some. It's starting to piece together for me right now. There's a very
Okay.
big lack of disables on the side of NoPing. They had the Dark Willow first phase, so they were planning for this Morphling because you're gonna buy Aghanims on the Morph, become Dark
Mm-hmm.
Willow, and hit like a maniac, and then you're gonna have this Ravage, right? That's gonna go in at the same time, so you're gonna be able to burst just one hero, maybe even two heroes potentially with it, and just kind of play off of that and just keep inching forward with the Morphling. That being said, NoPing have two picks right now to be able to not only counter the Morphling, but make him very uncomfortable so that he can't get to that Axe timing decently. I think that's the biggest problem when I see Morphling Dark Willow is the Morph's Axe is just so slow because of other factors in the game that it just doesn't matter in the late game.
Yeah, and I
You know,
think right now it's Morphling on second pick, so you can sort of pick both lanes that he can't go safe lane or mid, right?
Yeah. Kunkka Hero, that's a potential Vessel buyer right there, and I assume he will buy Vessel in this game. Dark Mago Kunkka, this guy, in my opinion, he plays a lot of Tiny, and they first phase it, but I've always thought his Kunkka was the best hero that he plays. He
it
was
is.
one of the more innovators of like playing the mid hero who can jungle really fast, and he just farms so much with the Kunkka. His team stacks for him, so at minute 10 he's like level 10, just running around boating people and utilizing those that high levels that he has.
The reason they pick him tiny so much is because they don't want him to hit creeps. It's genuinely like they will say this. They want him to actually go and fight, and tiny allows him to fight. Most of other Dark Mago's heroes, are except for his Invoker, are mostly for hitting creeps. And with Kunkka, I mean, you used to see it. Like I think it was maybe last season, he would go Radiant's first item on Kunkka, despite that being a forgotten build, because he's like, I got farm. Why not? I was gonna mention though, Unknown's draft is exactly like infamous draft back when they were playing ESL. Exactly. Axel on the Clockwork used to love that Clockwork 5. Papita would play that Tide Hunter. You would do the combo of Paka's Morphling, which is best hero, by the way, with the Willow. And now, usually they end up picking or back then an Infamous, they used to pick a mid, a tempo controller mid. Usually the Invoker, if they could, on Faker, and give extra steroids to the Morphling. And that was, they used to love running those drafts. I actually had good success with that on Unknown.
Pretty tense situation right now. I mean, for both of these teams, like this is the most important pick, right?
Mhm.
NoPing now need to pick the correct offlaner that synergizes with the Mirana. The Benno and Sanking are banned. I feel like Axe is in the pool, which could be really good. Mars, Centaur were banned in the second phase. Like, there's so many offlaners that are gone right now. So Axe might just be like the only real option left here, and it's kind of hard to play Axe into Dark Willow and Tidehunter and Clockwork. Like all the heroes that Team Unknown have, it's
Do
a
they
little bit
play
difficult here.
Oscar on Kunkka?
They
Uh,
can. That is true.
they have done it, but
Because
Dark Mago is usually the Kunkka player.
okay, because Kunkka offlane got a lot more popularity. I think if they watched ESL 1, like VP were picking it for DM a lot, and it looked really solid in that tournament.
Mm-hmm. You know,
If
Curtis, I have a question for you. Actually, this whole idea of NoPing not wanting him to play Tiny so he doesn't farm. But Kunkka, I feel like in this current meta, it's good for your mid laner to farm to like the 10-minute mark, so that they have like all this. They amass this network that allows them to teamfight to make space for their carry. How do you feel about that?
I think for sure. I think even if you're playing a hero that doesn't farm like Tiny, it's not like you're just running around from level 5, right? Like you hit your
Yeah.
timing and then you start running around. I think Kunkka can also do that. So they're going. Is this a Viper offlane then with the
Yep,
Abaddon
it
5?
looks like it.
Because
It's
there's
a,
an SA Classic with Core Abaddon, but I don't think they're doing that.
Nah. Yeah, it's going to be a Viper core, and Abba's going to be the 5 playing with the Luna here. I can't say I like it as much because their mid game late game synergy is a bit worse. They lack stuns. Literally the only stun they have is like either X mark combo or an arrow, and both could be really reliable against BKB's late game. And then not they're so reliant on the Viper actually destroying the Morphling. Like
Yeah, you can
that's what
see
they're looking
here.
at.
Unknown have also identified the same thing, this lack of stuns. They pick Stormsword, they pick Morphling, and it should be very hard to catch. You sort of have to clutch it out with some X's into arrows, but it's like a battle there, right? Because you can waveform or Storm Zip against the X. I really wanted to see the offlane Kunkka this game because I was theory crafting when they picked it versus the Morphling Willow that you can create water. I don't know what the spell is called. I just call it create water with my friends and disarm him
What?
during the Willow W. That'd be like really cool
But-
to see.
Wait, create water.
tidal wave?
The
tidal
Aghanim
wave?
shard. Yeah,
The
tidal
tidal
wave.
create
No,
water.
I have a meme like we play 4 Kunkka and you just say you're creating water and you throw out torrent and tidal wave and you get Aghanims. It's really fun.
I thought what you meant was like they're gonna kill the Morphling and then he's gonna become water. So it's gonna create water in the lane.
All right, so as we get into the game, 1437, do you have faith in this no stun draft, or are you going for the unknown team?
No, I like NoPing's draft, but I've fallen more in love with Unknown as they continued on with their draft. Like I didn't like the Titan to Dark Willow at the start because of the opening of NoPing, but I'm not feeling this offlane Viper right now because they're kind of all in on him actually doing well in the game. Like having to win the lane against the Morphling, which is very much possible. But if they make 1 or 2 mistakes, Unknown are going to have a significant advantage.
I think for NoPing, they also went from like 100 to 0 lane in the safe lane to something that feels a lot more even. I don't quite understand the read on why they did that, but I'm sure like they probably have some reason, right? Like, I don't know, like maybe HFN wants to save, he gets Ravage, Abaddon pops OT and then saves him.
It's also really hard to play the Dark Willow into the Abba, I believe, because of the curse and the roots and stuff that you can dispel as well, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, that's true for sure. Yeah, no, it's I personally like Unknown's draft more. I'm curious to see how the play will match up. I think if NoPing don't snowball their Luna and out farm them really hard, which honestly is probably their game plan because it's an HFN team, then the game's like very free for Unknown. But you don't know, we might see HFN 18k net worth versus 9k on the enemy team.
Well, we'll see as the game is underway. This is the first game of the series between NoPing and Unknown. A lot on the line. Unknown, the dark horse. NoPing, the favorites. The true classic matchup here in SA. The land of the upsets. Who's going to win? We won't know. But we know that as viewers, we're all going to win because you have a wonderful cast brought to you by Aui2000 and by 1437.
Thank you. Apple, you always have something so nice to say. You're always boosting us up right before the cast. Curtis, man, I'm with you all the way. Like, I felt their draft at the start for NoPing was so nice with the Luna and the Viper, especially when we're expecting the 5 Viper. And this lack of disables, I can never get behind a team who lacks disables.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, they're basically betting on Dark Mago to do everything for them in this game, right? Yeah. It's like, honestly, from their side, like maybe they should have some confidence in that. I think how he played throughout, especially the second season of DPC, was like on a very high level. But you don't want to restrict yourself like that in Dota, right? Like the more options you have, the less chance you like force mistakes.
I agree, and one of the things that also makes me, rubs me the wrong way is the Viper laning with the Mirana.
Yeah, that is super weird,
position
right?
forwards. Of all position forwards, Viper likes to play with like melee stunners, even a Shadow Shaman. That's okay.
Just
but
anything
Mirana,
that can zone for him.
Yeah, and Matthew better be a god this game, where he just gets like some arrow from the back or something, lands on the Morphling when he's not looking, and then the Nether Toxin comes out and they kill him. But other than that, it's real rough, especially against a Clock who can just kind of chase you down, batter you.
I think Unknown, they should do something similar to what we saw last game from SG. They should just try lane safe lane at the start. If Morphling gets a couple of free waves, like he's gonna destroy this game. I mean, on the flip side, like HFN will free farm, but it's not like Abaddon Luna's gonna full zone the Tidehunter.
What is going on here? 40 heroes on both sides, just looking at each other. Yeah, Unknown going to the side of the Morphling. Morphling doesn't really like to fight level 1. They are gonna get a D ward here, and Matthew gonna kill off his own ward too. So Unknown can't actually go there and get some XP and gold for themselves. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Like, just safe lane, try lane, let the Tidehunter go off. He's gonna suffer a bit, but giving your Morphling free farm, like that's your win condition in this game. As soon as he gets Aghanims, he feels like a beast.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're gonna go for that. And the other thing I'm a bit confused about is that Clockwork has boots. He knows he's against a Mirana Viper lane. I don't think boots makes any sense. Like, you already outrun the Viper. You don't need more. You just come from behind and you'll catch him.
Right. You also outrun the Mirana too.
Yeah.
And this is going to mean he's going to lack a lot of regen in this lane. If they actually just stay in the lane and hit the Morphling, like, this Clockwork is not going to feel good anymore.
Yeah, I think, like, Clockwork, he's going to have impact for the first couple of weeks. I actually play a lot of 5 Clockwork. But at some point you're gonna start feeling really bad, and as soon as you start feeling bad, you can't tank for your Morphling anymore, and Viper's gonna
Yeah.
snowball the lane. Ooh, and Angel, he's actually in. Oh, never mind. I thought he was losing the wave equilibrium, but he drops another toxin.
It's gonna be pushed into Morph, and Morph's gonna be happy with that bottom lane. Lots of fighting already going on here. Aphotic Shield on the Abaddon level 1. Luna got that passive, so they're just utilizing all those right-click potential. Top lane as well, we got Battery just running at these two heroes, just being that body for the Morphling. And like I said, the boots just not making sense when you're trying to be a body. Bottom lane, again, another goal with the Bramble Mace and the Gush. HFN taking so much damage, but he's got to be careful on Unknown. The shield can easily turn these fights around.
They have managed to sort of double wave into Unknown here from NoPing side on bottom lane. So they have a little bit of a creep advantage. They're doing a little bit more harass in these engagements. But at the same time, like HFN CS is surprisingly low.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure being put on him when the creeps are getting low, and they just keep going on to him. And the shield is the reason why the lane is pushing in, right? All that AoE damage for when it pops.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, it looks like Storm's having a really good lane mid. This is picked as a counter pick to Kunkka. I think Storm is pretty.
Wait, hold on, top lane. Morphling. Oh, he's gonna TP to tier 1. He's gonna be fine. Even though he's only got that level 1 attribute shift. Clockwork does have a healing salve available, so he's gonna get healed up. No problem there. And yeah, you were saying about the mid lane?
Storm is generally pretty strong against Kunkka. It's hard to X combo him, and he has really high armor, so you can't cleave him down how you do most heroes.
And the Storm should be able to farm quite a bit in this lane, and if the lane ever does get hard, he can just go into the jungle. An excellent neutral farmer here. What kind of rotations are we looking at in this game from either of these mid laners?
I think it's sort of hard to walk to lanes, but we might see like Storm or both of them look for TP ganks. I think if like they get good equilibriums, both of them, especially Kunkka on Tidehunter, like he can just TP in and X him and boat him and they'll kill him. I don't think either of them, since they farm jungle so fast, want to like run around unless they get a really good route.
Right. Because you're gonna lose a lot of like momentum for yourself, right? When you just run around, and one of your ganks fail, it's like the enemy, if they're jungling, then they're getting even further ahead. So when you do commit to a fight and your opponent commits to a fight, now they're like 1 or 2 levels ahead of you because you rotated way too early into the game.
Yeah, it's also both the mid sort of have a lot of lane shove. So like if you try to walk somewhere and the other mid just shoves a lane in, suddenly your move can become really obvious. You can ruin your own game.
And your mid tower is going to be affected as well. And bottom lane. Dude, this is such an annoying lane. Jeez. You got the curse plus the lunar blessing. Luna actually going for the level 2 loosen beam over the blessing though right now. Is that the right choice?
I think he identified, since there's so much fighting, like normally you'd think like the curse plus Lunar Blessing is doing a lot of damage, but I think specifically in this lane, this might be correct. I'm not too sure. He got a lot of stick charges to spam with.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Panda Boo gonna get gone on. He is out of resources. He has a Fairy Fire. Oh no, the Dark Willow is gonna be the first one to fall here. Panda Boo does die. HFN, he's got one more Lucent Beam with this magic stick. Sacred, Anchor Smash, reducing the damage of HFN. Is it gonna be enough? But does have a Fairy Fire. Top lane, we see the Viper actually take a fall, and Sacred's gonna be fine. So top lane, what happened here? It looks like the Mirana was going towards the top water rune, and Prada going in with this Clockwork, with the Morphling, get the nice kill onto the Viper, and that's going to be so nice for the Morph now. Both heroes actually have such low last hits in the top lane, don't they? 17
just
for
in both
Morph.
side lanes in general, I think there's just been battling.
Exactly. So bloodthirsty, these guys. And it's so different compared to like the major, right? Where in the major, it feels like everyone is just battling for every last hit and deny. It's very rare that you see aggression.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, SA has always like sort of done its own meta and heroes, and I can really appreciate that about the region. And honestly,
middle Prada, he was trying to go for a dive, but RoboZ, he's got his action portents back up. Dark Mago pops his water rune, but is it going to be enough? He's actually baiting this so hard. RoboZ so low. He's got a Fairy Fire ready. He's going to pop that right away. Dark Mago, he's still tanky. 30 HP left. He wants to stick around for this creeps. But Prada going in with the boots. Dark Mago also has boots, so he's able to maneuver around. Oh,
Good arrow.
now getting arrowed. Such a good arrow. Oh my god, I can't believe Dark Mago just outplayed them like crazy.
Surprised Kunkka's running back to base over X TPing. Maybe this means he wants to TP to a side lane and use bolt on like a Tidehunter
Right,
or
the
something.
potential. Top, Oscar. Oscar, one hit. Oh, he gets him, an Angel with the solo kill onto the Viper. And bottom as well, they get the kill onto Abad and Unknown. On the side lanes, they're looking real good now.
And here we go. This is why he chose to walk back to base. It's just so he could TP bottom, help a bottom lane. Do they have enough to
He's
kill
kind of
him?
tanky though. He doesn't have boots. I think he will die because he doesn't have boots. And Dark Mago, you know, he's got that rum buff pretty fast. Yep, there it is. The last Lucent Beam gonna delete him. And now they're looking for the Dark Willow in the Shadow Realm form. Also doesn't have boots, so not able to run away. There's the cleave.
Such a good play from Dark Mago. You
So
can really
good.
see
So
they're relying on him making plays, and he's already accelerated Luna's game so much that like the entire game state's gonna change just off this one move.
Yeah.
I think in every single pub, Kungas would have X himself back, TP'd home, refilled their own bottle, and like just came back mid and farm. But Dark Mago, he's like on the next level, right? He's looking for the aggressive play. He understands he has bolt, it's a level 4 Tidehunter, he's vulnerable, and I can't speak enough about this play.
Yeah, that's just a team player right there. And Dark Mago now gonna get going on as his boat is on cooldown. He doesn't have that rum buff available. Arrow comes out, does not hit the Storm Spirit. Now Robo Z, they're gonna be able to kill off the Kunkka. Robo Z gets the last hit, but here comes the NoPing team TPing in. Prada. Yep. He's also gonna take a fall down. So they're gonna get the 2 kills on the Storm and the Clockwork. I feel like that's completely worth it for NoPing here.
That
Curtis,
was
because
huge.
yeah, and HFN now out of the bottom lane. I think he wanted to leave anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And you can really see the rotation there, right? Like, Kunkka goes and makes Luna have a good game, and then Luna's coming in to help Kunkka. Like, there's sort of a cycle there. Now, since they killed Storm, they've identified that he doesn't have TP score, so they can just collapse their heroes on any side lane, and the mid hero from Dire cannot react at all.
And they're going bottom. Dark Mago, as soon as he's alive, he goes TP's back right down there to the Tidehunter. And the arrow plus the bow. Oh, it's gonna hit 2 heroes. Sacred gonna fall first, and they're going for the Dark Willow. Wish gonna drop his root. Mirana taking a lot of damage. Matthew is gonna fall, but doesn't matter. He got the kill first, so he gets the XP as well. Rewarded on Matthew. He's so happy about that, right? He gets a kill, he dies, now he's full resources, he can go anywhere and make another play again.
And he doesn't give the killing spree EXP to anyone, which is also like sort of understated here. And NoPing, they're just playing
do killing sprees give extra experience?
I'm gonna look it up because I
just
said that.
gold, right?
I thought it's experience too. Give me a second. Talk for a bit, thank you.
All right, no problem. No, it's the Clockwork trying to run in, get some vision, get some information going, but he's gonna get punished by Oscar and Matthew. HFN's jungle will be protected. He's got a nice stack at the moment that he can farm if he wants to.
All right,
Dark Mago gonna control up the mid lane.
Killing sprees give an extra 30 times the level, and then dominating is 40, and it's all the way to up to 100 times the level. So it is a lot of EXP. That's why you see these, like, it's one of the comeback mechanics.
Right. Learn something new. I actually had no idea. And
I mean, there's so many mechanics in Dota.
A lot.
I mean, we've literally both been playing Dota for 15 years, and half the information isn't even in the tooltips, and you don't know about it. Like, it's very easy to not know. Top lane, though, they're going on this Viper again.
Nice cog. Angel gonna get a real good kill. And this is what worries me, Curtis, because the Luna has been active, and she's needed to be active to get, you know, things done for NoPing, right? But the Morphling has just been AFK in this top lane, and he's also been farming off this Viper.
Yeah, it's a bit of like going back to the draft, right? Like, I think NoPing, the moves they make, these are like really amazing moves. Like the Kunkka, he walks back to base, he TP's ball and gets kills. Luna's trading him out mid, TPing in to be active. But the problem is that the lane that they had potential advantage in top, they just lost this lane very hard, and Morphling's super happy.
They literally moved this Viper into position 3 just so they can win the lane, and they did not.
Yeah.
And now Sacred.
They can't play bottom though.
Yep, getting jumped, Nether Toxin. Matthew doesn't actually drop the arrow on Sacred, but it doesn't even matter. He just dies to the Viper like that. Wow. I mean, that's what should be happening, right? Block. Also, another kill going into the enemy triangle area now.
This game's just so wild because I think it's a lot because of how the draft developed, right? Like, we see NoPing, they're making these sick plays, and then Unknown, they have you know, they're also sort of outplaying them at top, even though maybe they shouldn't have been able to. And then, you know, the Tidehunter pick into Viper just reveals itself there. He literally solo killed him. I don't think Murata actually did much damage to him. And
Nah, just the Moonlight. That was the
Yeah.
only thing. That was only
that
Murata's
was crazy.
contribution.
Like
essentially.
I would have arrowed 100%, but Matthew, he nailed
Yeah.
that. He was dead, so he saved it to combine with the Kunkka axe.
That was really, really nice. And now NoPing are looking to put some pressure onto the mid tower. There is a Ravage up, but the Tidehunter TP bottom. So the Catapult, it looks like Dark Maggo is just going to let it go. Okay. Feels like there's too many heroes of Unknown off the map and doesn't want to risk getting gone on by the Storm. Plus his teammates are just content with farming right now.
Yeah, I think in general in Dota right now, if you don't bring like full numbers to mid lane, like you're gonna find the entire enemy team family. Like everyone just wants to be mid. Even if you go mid, it doesn't feel that bad. You can always smoke out from there, attack anywhere on the map.
Do you miss that? Where like, you know, the team who makes the first rotation, takes objectives and stuff gets... Oh, okay, hold that thought for a second. Clockwork hooking in onto HFN. This is the counter right there. Storm Spirit also zipping in. The Ravage comes out, covering the Storm. Storm has very little mana, but Tidehunter, because he put himself between the Storm and NoPing, they're gonna go onto him. And now Tide sacrificing his life. So the trade is Tide for Luna plus Unknown are on the offensive. So NoPing coming into this mid area of the map. They're not gonna feel too good, but they're gonna try and get the most out of it by hitting this tier 1.
Really good transition into the mid-tier tower from NoPing there. And again, like I feel Tidehunter, he's getting a bit exposed, right? He walks in and he just dies for free versus a Viper. We also saw during that Angel, he uses ultimate to turn into Mirana. We saw a tip coming out from Matthew because I'm assuming he like juked out the arrow or something when he tried to go for the kill.
Yeah. So back to my previous point though, like, do you miss the patches earlier? You know, teams who made first rotations, they brought numbers, they took towers early on. You know, try to build momentum off that. You know, it was good because right now it feels like if you do that, then you're just losing out on the map because there's just way too much farm for everyone.
It sort of does feel like that right now, but I'm not too sure if it's necessarily like a patch thing. Or it's like how people are playing. Because we saw at the major, like LGD, they ran a lot of Enchantress lineups. And some of them, like they took the enemy mid tower at 7 minutes and the game still felt just over, you know? So like there's probably a space there. It's probably being under indexed on where like people are like, okay, I really want to get my own game going. And people are like sort of forgetting what the correct move is, even if it's not the correct move every game, if you know what I mean.
I mean, the reason why I was thinking that was like when I watched LGD play, they would just sacrifice their mid tower too. They would just like sacrifice towers all over the map, and they're not even trying to take towers themselves. They're just like farming, and they're still ahead in net worth. Clockwork, zip in onto the Kunkka before he can get the bullet off. Nice chain stunning going, and they actually blow up the Kunkka. He has a Sanj on that Kunkka too. That is a very tanky Kunkka, but they managed to kill him off before the bolt comes out. And it looks like the Clock is gonna die. That's his 5th death, but he is making some real good plays.
I mean, this Clockwork has done God's work this game. He won top lane for his Morphling. Morphling's off to a great start. He's just sacrificing him. He killed Luna in the jungle. He's making the right plays, even though he's sort of low net worth. And that's what you want to see out of these 5-position players a lot of the time. I think what you're talking about with LGD is true. Like there is a lot of games where you just don't want to make the moves. But I think it's just like it's more measured than before. Like before, you always want to make the first move and take the tower, right? Now it's like there's more things to consider. It's less streamlined like that. And I actually like that. Like I like having more options. Yeah, it makes it like more dynamic. I think a better game overall.
I agree, and it probably also has to do with the fact that like players are just getting better, right? As they play more Dota, as they amass more experience. Clockwork not gonna get X mark killed off, but that's a lot of spells being used. Kunkka didn't use the bolt, so he's not tanky at all. And here comes the cavalry from Unknown. Mirana gonna die as she leaps away, and so is the Viper. And there it is. They spent so much on the Clockwork. Like, I gotta give all the credit to the Clock for that one. I can't give the credit to anybody else. All he did was run in there and die for his team.
He's definitely being MVP right now. Like how he's positioning, it's always aggressive for his team. We sort of saw one of the ideas from Unknown coming out there against a Viper, right? Like he can put down a Nether Toxin, but if you ravage his entire team, then you can just walk out of the Nether Toxin and you can still win the fight. As long as it's not Tidehunter getting bursted first, you're the ones going on them with this Clockwork Vision, the Storm Jump. Maybe this matchup isn't as bad as like I initially thought in the draft.
I mean, you were also assuming that it was going to be a Viper 5. So you were assuming there's going to be other heroes and Viper just needs to drop one spell, you know? And
You're right. Like if there's a Mars and you just arena and drop a Nether Toxin, like Tide's dead every time, and it's simple, right?
yeah,
So yeah, it is a bit of confusion draft. Like at the same time, like I don't play any scrims or official style, so like my reads are like weird, right? Like they're at least different than the teams. So I always like to try to think about like maybe they have some experience that made this make sense to them.
Yeah, there's a lot of TPs going in mid right now, Curtis. I feel like we're going to be seeing a big fight as the Ravage is on cooldown. I think NoPing are tired of getting picked off on the map, and they want to use this advantage of the Tide Ravage being down. Here comes the Dark Willow Ultimate, going to fear away the Viper. The Kunkka's bow is coming out now, so they're going to get a little bit tanky. HFN kind of low here. He does get hit with the Rum buff, so he's a little bit tanky. Pandaboo also following HFN, making sure that he can at least get out. Clockwork buying back. After dying, they did manage to kill off the Viper on NoPing, but the mid tower did take a fall here too. I feel like NoPing, they got a little bit ahead in that team fight as they managed to survive with their most important heroes, plus take the mid tower and force a Clockwork buyback.
Yeah, no, that was a really good engagement for them. You saw HFN, he was really playing on his range. Instead of like sort of committing, going too far in, maybe popping Eclipse early, he was just casually hitting away again, you know? Keeping his distance, trying to make Unknown overcommit on him. If he steps forward 300 ranger, I guarantee you he dies to that Storm's it, because Storm has just a little bit more mana, they can click more spells. Just really good spacing and understanding of how the fight's gonna go. And you can see NoPing. Go ahead.
I would also say, like, Angel too, though, on the other side of Unknown, like, he's going for the right targets in these fights too. Like, he's gunning for that Viper. He does not care about anything else. Like, they want to get rid of that hero who's kind of underfarmed at this stage in the game. A very easy kill, but can also dish out a lot of damage.
For sure. That's a good point. Oh, mid thing?
Storm, zip in again. The Volt buff is on cooldown. Dark Mago. Oh no, gonna get exploded. That Arcane Rune by Storm Spirit has triggered Unknown to make some plays on this map right now. The Ravage is back up again too. Matthew, he might be the next target. RoboZ is not gonna hesitate with his Arcane Rune.
They're going for more?
Oh no, oh he missed. Onto the Viper.
He had 4 stuff anyways. He was just testing him.
Fair, that's fair. Okay.
I mean, if he hooked him into Cog's back, he probably had the Viper. But you know, he's been playing so well on I don't know how to say.
We can give him that one.
Yeah.
We can give him that one.
You know, I've been avoiding.
Prada. We just call him Prada.
Because he changed his name to this, and like.
Yeah. I know. Don't worry. I've been
avoid.
dealing with this for 2 seasons. Okay. You know, I know what you're feeling right now. And Pandaboo gonna get gone on top. They're holding the stuns, but NoPing is around here. They're kind of baiting Pandaboo. HFN. He's gonna hit the Clockwork a few times. Some Glaze bouncing. Storm Spirit. X Mark. Oh, he's gonna be able to get away. Oh, that is so good for RoboZ. Was that the Kaya Sanj factor, or was it the X Mark just a little too early?
I think he did not bring him back because he got feared there. So it was a Kaya Sanj.
Yeah.
He couldn't time the boat out properly. It's a good point for you there.
It's
and we can
such
see
a
both
good
the
item.
fives this game. They're sort of baiting it up, right? Like Abaddon, he almost got a really good fight for his team there.
You can see that both the support on in these teams are really, really good.
Angel's 1,000 gold from Ethereal Blade here. I think this is the timing that they're waiting for. Tidehunter's 700 from Blink. He'll probably get that almost at around the same time, and it's just going to be go time from the Unknown side.
And it looks like NoPing are angling for that Aegis already. Luna is a hero that desperately needs to play off Aegis, I feel like. Even though she has very high net worth, that having that second life and stopping the opponent from jumping her is very important, but just trying to finish that BKB first. And I wanted to ask you something. Do you think Angel is not going for Ags because of the state of the game where he was able to win his lane and be ahead, so he's opted for this kind of build? Or he just wasn't going to go for it anyway? Oh, Mirana just going to get picked off here. Yep. Actually, she's not quite dead yet. Dark Mago is still there. They forced a lot of TPs to the mid lane. And NoPing. Wait, this is some information for them too, because now they see Unknown running to the bottom side. Do they decide to go for Roshan or just try to kick them out?
Yeah, I think on the topic of the Morphling, I clicked on Dark Willow. She only has 1 point in the Shadow Realm, so maybe it's a little bit of a reaction to that. But I also feel like when you play this Morphling Willow combo, a lot of the times the Morphlings sort of over-index on the strength of the Aghanims. Like, you need more items. You can't just get it and just hit them with, like, no other attack speed items. So I sort of like him going for this Ethereal Blade. I think the other reason why he's going for this is if you look at their lineup's idea, they need to jump them with Clockwork Storm and this Tidehunter Blink Ravage and burst people. Because if you cannot
right.
burst on like the Viper, then your Tidehunter, your offlane can't play Dota at all. So I think it makes a lot of sense to itemize for that.
There's a DD here for
Oh,
HFN.
DD and DD with BKB.
Oh my goodness. The gods have blessed NoPing. They're actually going straight into a Roshan pit. They're not looking for the fight. I think with the lack of disables they have, this is a lot better. Because if you run into Unknown and you don't just kill someone, then it's going to feel real bad that you just activate the DD. Here it is.
They know about the Roshan,
Unknown
but they don't
coming
know
in.
about the
They
DD.
know the smoke, it broke. HFN doesn't pop the BKB. The Roshan is so low, they're actually zipping in. Morphling is going in for the steal. He's gonna get it. And now the Ravage is available. It's gonna pop. HFN already popped the BKB. The DD is still on right now. Angel, he's got to wait for him in 1 second. He wants to save his Aegis if he can. Storm Spirit, you know, also trying to make the retreat. And it looks like they're gonna be able to get away with this. No way. Nice defensive arrow from Angel, stolen Mirana form there. And smoke coming out from NoPing. Seems a little bit of a tilt smoke to me. And they're just gonna go back to pushing lanes out. Holy crap, Unknown just got away with that.
That was getting away with murder there. This
So
perfect
good.
fear, just baited by the Tidehunter. He knew he was going to die there, but like they had the read on the situation, and I'm surprised like they timed it so perfectly, even against the
So
double
good.
damage rune.
My goodness, I think what you're supposed to do there as NoPing, like especially HFN, like how important that Aegis is. You just pop your BKB and pop your ulti, right?
Yeah.
Just kill the Roshan with your ulti. Like you need to get that Aegis no matter what. But now they're gonna look to fight with that Aegis. The Storm zipping in, go down to Mirana first. The shield already been used on the Mirana. Pandaboo, his ulti's gonna pop. Nice clockwork. Cogs in the back. The Luna and Viper are stuck in there, but Dark Mago gonna drop a bolt towards them. So they got all three cores. Very tanky right now. Sacred gonna get Ghana with the Viper Strike. Luna hitting them. He has BKB available. Not gonna pop it yet. Unknown are gonna be able to kill that Luna because she didn't pop the BKB. Under one electric vortex, she gets blown up by the Ethereal Blade. Oh, wow. I mean, I would say that's completely worth it because they get 2 kills. You know, Batten buys back. Luna's dead, and she needs to be farming right now. The Morphling is actually ahead of her.
I think most importantly, they just took a fight without Ravage. Like anytime you have a big cooldown and you can still fight your opponents and sort of go even. I mean, that was an advantage fight for them, right? They forced a buyback, killed the enemy carry. But even if they only went even in that fight, they would feel very good about it. Because look at the next timing. Tidehunter revives, Luna revives. He's going to have 20 seconds of this Ravage. They're just going to go again.
Exactly. And they have the Aegis on the Morph still for another, what, 2 more minutes? And with the positioning on the map that you see, like, they're so aggressive. Like, this Aegis has so much value right now. There's no split push going on from NoPing. The heroes don't do that.
Going to Morphling a bit?
They just he's just making the borrow time pop.
Yeah, and
so
they just
once they
have
do
no
make a play,
stuns too, right? Like they X that Morphling, but they have no fallout.
they have nothing. Absolutely nothing. Awkward. Watching. Oh, misses the hook shot, but that's alright. Storm has enough information going out to Pandaboo, who doesn't have that borrow time thanks to the Morphling, but they're not going to be able to get him right now. Angel, Mirana form, leaping in, getting a lot of attack speed into the back lines, focusing Dark Mago. Dark Mago already used the Ghost Shift to buff up his teammates, but Pandaboo is going to fall as the borrow time is not quite yet up. Tidehunter already popping the Ravage, not doing too much with that. And here it is. He's going to fall. Nether Toxin on the floor, on top of him. Angel following with the spear right now. Dark Mago popping his BKB to TP out here. Angel turn around onto Matthew. Robo Z getting caught out in the back. He's zipping away. There's still an urn and a poison, and he's going to die to that. Mirana buying back. Angel is kind of on his own. Wish is out of mana. Can't really help him out here. And he's also going to just wave on out as he has already lost his Aegis. There's no more reason for him to take that team fight anymore. And I will say, NoPing, they did very well in that last team fight.
Yeah, for sure. I think a little bit uncoordinated from Unknown. Ooh, they're getting a DD on Morphling here. This could be a game changer. But I feel like they had all their timing, and all they had to do was be a bit more patient and group up. Instead, we sort of see like Morphling is making this good play to pop the Abaddon ulti, but the follow-up is like sort of going one by one. We saw Storm jump him alone. We saw Clockwork sort of just go in there and die. There wasn't that sort of coordination that we saw in their previous engagements. Maybe a little bit of like overhyped in the fights, you know, like we're doing it, we're beating NoPing.
Right?
Yeah. And we can even think about that last interview with KJ. Like he talked about controlling his teams. Yeah. At some point, like hype is good. It can build up momentum. But you do need some level headedness and like calmness, making rational high percentage fight takings.
completely agree. By the way,
Ooh.
what was the Tidehunter going for with the Ravage there?
I honestly didn't even see the Ravage because I was just watching Angel try to go in 1v5. It was very entertaining.
Yep,
And
that's
Angel, he has
exactly
a
what I
full
was looking
BKB,
at
by the
too.
way. I actually
he's
didn't see the Ravage in
gigantic.
a fight, which is embarrassing. Ooh, they
Oh,
see a
man.
lot of enemies. Don't do it, Angel.
That's two of us. Don't do it. They see it. They have the word. They see everybody. And here
They
comes
see-
the Moonlight. They also saw that too. So they know where they're going, and they want to do this pick because they know that the Tidehunter Ravage is not quite yet up. They know it's going to be up soon,
20
but they're not going to
seconds
be able to
still.
find anyone.
I
gonna be
feel
up
like
now.
this is like an uncomfortable situation for Unknown though. Like they saw the pawn multi and they're still sort of spaced out. It's very like I don't know, you're like taking a gamble, but I don't think they're in a position where they should feel like they have to take these gambles, you know? Like they
Right.
pawn multied and there's no sentries down. What if they just ran onto Morphling and killed him there? Maybe he's relying on like the lack of stuns with BKB, but it's scary.
I suppose the Clockwork is also like kind of playing in front and
True.
you know, making them go on him if ever. So there's also that factor. Plus they saw the ward and the angle that NoPing was smoking towards, and Tidehunter just like got away from that.
You know, I thought we were going to see the Aghanim's at some point. But
He doesn't look like he's buying
he only
it.
has like 1 point in Shadow Realm still, and Morphling, he's gone for like all non-Aghanim's items.
Yeah. Maybe in the late game on the third Roshan or something. That we might see
mean,
it there.
Even if you don't get it for Roshan, you have to buy it at some point, right? It's like one
Yeah,
of the
I agree.
strongest combinations in Dota.
It might be the best at this point ever
Yeah.
since the Earthshaker has been nerfed.
Oh,
And
arrow
here
to
it is, top
Tidehunter?
lane, Tidehunter. Yup.
Nanotoxin.
Nanotoxin is down. So he might just die before getting a Ravage, and the bulk buff comes out too. So they're really fast. They're gonna try to disengage first as their spells need to cool off so they can re-engage onto Unknown. Tidehunter does have a buyback, but he won't have a TP to be able to come into this fight. So that probably means they're gonna need to give up this tower here. Tower does fall. Angel needs to pop his BKB, forces the E-Blade combo onto the Abaddon, getting that borrowed time. But that's such an uncomfortable situation for Unknown. Morphling popping his BKB. That means he's not going to be able to fight for the next 70 seconds. And they lost their Tidehunter. That's the Viper factor once again.
Yeah, and they really wanted to defend their tier 2 because they would have had the Shrine advantage had they kept that alive. But honestly, it felt a bit hasty, right? Like they weren't set up with heroes TPing to tier
Yeah,
3,
they
so
were
we're doing
not.
this methodically. So just had 3 TPs to tier 2 and we're hoping that nothing killed them. Again, as you just mentioned, like, if there's another Toxin, you're not the same hero on Tidehunter.
It's like the plays that they're making. Okay, it looks like Clockwork is going to get jumped soon. Matthew, he had vision of him, and now he's going to be able to get the use, stun, free 5 kill. But yeah, like the decision to TP there, it just felt so rushed, like you said, and I feel like they're lacking that shot calling. Same with the previous play when the Storm just kind of zipped in, right? There's nobody controlling them from making these like kind of awkward bad plays.
It does feel a bit awkward. Oh, that's a nice item to pick up, the Spider Legs. When your Morphling is this farm.
Yeah.
Although to mention
He's
this,
gonna be
dude,
6-slotted.
Yeah, he'll essentially be 7-slotted, right? Or like 6
Yep.
full items because he won't have to have boots. For now, it is nice on the Tidehunter just so you can position, maybe even get out of that Nether Toxin faster.
I hate it, Curtis. I absolutely hate Spider Legs. I feel like it's so imbalanced in terms of the carries. You know, if one carry gets in, the other one doesn't. It's just so bad.
Yeah, it is one of the higher... Oh, nice dodge to the X there from Angel. It is one of the higher variance items because it's like specifically OP, right? In games where like the carries are hyper farmed, and in other games like it's still a solid item. So I'm not sure.
It just doesn't make sense when like the next boots that you can pick up is at 60 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love getting Spider Legs, so
It's
the most
that's
fun
why
item
it's
for-
because
if
it's
you play
OP.
carry.
I know, Curtis, I've known you for so long, and you like all the OP shit.
Oh,
All right, that's why you
Smoke
play
here from
Dota.
Unknown.
Yep, coming out. Pandabu gonna break that. He does have to borrow time. Oh, they get the arrow again, and then they're trying to blow up the Tidehunter, and they're gonna do exactly that. But the 3-man cogs though, Luna gonna pump the BKB. Morphling trying to fight into the Luna, but the Luna is just not taking any damage, and the Glaze bouncing between the heroes. RoboZ has to get out, and now Angel is in a lot of trouble. The Scotty effect also reducing his healing potential. Sacred as he buys back, comes back into the fight with the Ravage. They get the kill onto the Abaddon, and they're going to keep on going forward with NoPing. The Morphling has no more damage available at the moment. He is lingering on the outskirts of the fight, looking to cast some more spells. But it looks like Unknown are just going to disengage. Unknown used 2 buybacks plus the Ravage. NoPing only losing their Viper and a Baton. They're going to be very happy with that.
Yeah, that was huge. And we saw again, once again, the Tidehunter, he just runs in. He can't play like a normal Tidehunter because of the Neurotoxin. I saw at the end of the fight, Angel tried to steal Kunkka so he could X-TP himself. Or did they make him play mid? 1 second here. This is high tension.
Yeah, but Angel, you know, he's still pretty tanky. He's got that Sanjay Yasha as well. Strand Treads, arrow, tanked by the Tidehunter. Wait a minute. You really want to tank that arrow, buddy? No? Okay, this time he actually gets away. Thanks to the spider legs, and Clockwork gonna be the focus now as he went in to try and save this Tide. Didn't want to let him die to that Nether Toxin again. Whew. Dude, where is the Force Staff on Unknown? Someone's gotta save this damn Tidehunter. Wish is also gonna take a fall.
Yeah, and Clockwork doesn't have a neutral item for some reason. He had a shovel before, they just dropped that one. And now this looks to be a free Roshan for NoPing.
It is, and he got the Lunar Blessing on all 5 heroes. Is gonna die pretty quickly, especially with the Solar Crest.
So Angel's finally going for the Agnum Scepter. I think Weege needs to be given the 30-minute book. Did they already take that? I don't know to check while spectating. But if they haven't, they need to give it to him just so he can get those levels into the Shadow Realm.
Agreed. It's like, oh, we're losing now, so let's buy the Aghanims. I think it's like how you said it. They tend to buy that item when they're really far behind us, some kind of a saving grace or something here. But he really needs it though. Like, he was hitting that Luna, and the Luna was out life-stealing Morphling's damage with the Paladin Sword. And the Abaddon healing. Just shielded up, walked away. I love the Scotty pickup as well from the Luna. Excellent item against the Morphling. AC soon on Kunkka. What's the Viper up to? He's going for an Aeon Disc. Doesn't want to get blown up by any Ravage Morphling combos. But yeah, do you like agree with me that they need a Force Staff badly so this Tidehunter can actually get a Kraken shell off and
but
Ravage?
He played such a sacrificial role this game that he has 13 deaths. Just above Tidehunter's 10 deaths. So it's hard for them to get these items. Tidehunter's been going for one for himself.
Unknown. They were out split pushing. So NoPing go straight to the high ground with that Aegis. Kunkka leading the charge. And now they're going to zip in. Wish. He did throw out a shadow round, but did no damage. And Ravage coming out. They get the Mirana kill on the mid lane. Kunkka now, he does have a cheese and a BKB. They're turning onto the Tier, who is broken for now. Gonna pop his Ghost Scepter. They're hitting the racks, and this is what Luna loves. The tier 3 tower down, all the glaze bouncing around. While in the backline, we had the Morphling running around and now going in onto the Kunkka. Kunkka not popping that BKB, gets stunned up and just dies. Pandaboo does have the borrow time, just wants HFN to get the hell out of there. But HFN gonna turn around with the Satanic. He's starting to hit onto Angel, but there's no glaze bouncing around as Angel is all by himself there. Sacred now walking away, gonna pop the Ghost up to HFN, getting kited at the moment, and now they're gonna pick off the Abaddon. No more shields for you, HFN. He doesn't have Satanic, he does have an Aegis available though. Unknown, they look like they're running out of gas, so they're gonna back off. They're gonna go and heal up. Abaddon buying back. It's still 4 versus 5. I don't feel like NoPing are gonna be able to go into this high ground and delete this melee racks as Angel and the rest of his team are covering it.
Never had a chance.
That was honestly really well executed for Unknown. They were okay just spending the Ravage to buy time. I'm not too sure what happened, but I think Mirana might have cancelled the Morphling TP back to base there. He had that ward on the high ground, so that's why Clockwork and Morphling were sort of late to the fight. And,
I see, but she did have to give up her life for it, unfortunately, and bought out.
And she bought out. So I'm not too sure if it didn't like end up being worth it. But it was sort of like a cool play, right? Like, I think in both scenarios, if Unknown don't like clutch, like, oh, we're going to use Ravage literally to stall them for 2 seconds so they don't take the racks and have that like perfect read, then the Mirana play would have looked really good. Like, Dota's a funny game like that, right?
It was so good. But it felt like Unknown were quite okay with losing the Ravage as long as the Morphling was able to get a few picks and, you know, come out ahead in the engagement, because we saw him actually wrapping around on the bottom side, and I think you might be right that the TP was canceled and that's why he was forced to do that anyway. But you get the idea that they're just looking to kill everybody but the Luna because she did have that Aegis, and now that she lost Aegis, it was a pretty early loss there. I would say they're gonna have to wait a long time before the next one's up.
Yeah, for sure. And Luna, she's itemized to frontline, but this is actually one of the problems that I think Luna has as a hero, where you sort of have to itemize like this to be really tanky, just because you have low range and you're not like a Medusa, right? You have to like really stand in the front. But then what is it saying? Sorry. But then you don't do much single target damage. So Luna
Yeah,
does
you
end
don't.
up getting out carried by a lot of these hyper carries. Like you play versus like even a Ursa or Juggernaut or Morphling, like they will outscale you at some point.
Exactly. The best advice, like against Luna, is when she's fighting him, don't be next to your carry.
Yeah,
As
for
long as
sure.
those glaives don't bounce, she's not gonna deal more damage than your carry is. So get the hell out of there. And we saw that in the last team fight when she popped the BKB. Everybody got away except for Angel, and she just kind of melted at that point. DD available, top rune. This is a Moonlight, not a smoke yet. Abaddon did put the smoke into his inventory, looking to use that. Oh, Tidehunter, not again. The Nanotoxin, they're not going to pop the Kraken Shockwave. Oh, yeah, actually pop it. Oh, no, the arrow runs out. Now Sacred going to be able to get away. Clockwork goes in, trying to sacrifice himself. Is going to be able to force staff out, maybe survive. Dark Mago in the back as well, getting zipped on by Robo Z. And it looks like Unknown should be able to get away with all their heroes. And there's an Axe on the Courier for Storm Spirit. That's a pretty big item.
It is. Luna with this DD though, she's gonna do work on this space here. HFN just chunking that building down.
They're gonna use a glyph. They need to remove that DD. It doesn't matter. It's gonna run out now. It was like a few seconds left only. And Morphling in the shadow form. Gonna hit top racks. That's gonna be the target now as they brought everybody mid and force out the glyph. Zip in. Electric Vortex. Wish. He thinks about the Terrorize. Gonna decide against it. So many brambles everywhere in this fight. It's so annoying. He's got his straight Octarine core on Dark Willow.
I've never seen this build. Have you seen this build before?
Yeah, I did. Yesterday, actually, it was the four Zoomers, Ocean. He was playing it, but
Really?
I feel
Okay.
like, yeah, it's just like, it's kind of greedy, right? You have no defensive
is.
items or anything. You get jumped, you will die, but if you look at NoPing's draft, they don't have anything that can jump Dark
Yeah,
Willow.
that's a pretty good read on the game because it is super annoying. Just Cursed Crown on a 7.5 second cooldown. As soon as he
With
gets
the
level
shard.
22. Oh, with the shard too, yes, of course. Clockwork jumping in.
Dark Mago, yeah, gonna force out. They're just gonna retreat as the Luna and the Mirana are a little too far away, but they will look to re-engage soon. Clockwork gonna get torrented, and too many brambles again. These brambles, so annoying. You don't want to run in there, allowing them to disengage. Oh, I wanted to make a point. Abaddon actually took the shard over the Luna on the second Roshan. How
Really?
do you
Okay.
feel about that?
I feel. So my initial reaction was like, that sounds really bad, right? Because I think
Yeah.
how shard usually works is you want to buff up your carry. But HFN is so farmed that maybe he feels like he'll farm the shard anyways, or he doesn't really even need it. I mean, he didn't take he only took one beam talent, the cooldown one. He didn't take the damage or the Lucent Beam mini stun, which I think most Lunas do usually take.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm surprised they took on Abaddon, to be honest. Like even
Yeah,
like
I
I think
am too.
Kunkka's is really good this game, or like Vipers, you can break base. I mean, Viper can't break the base this game; he just dies.
Yeah, he
But yeah,
will
that's
just die.
surprising.
I think you give it to Luna every single time.
Yeah, I
It's
think-
such a good shard too for her, and you want her to be ahead of the Morphling and keep getting ahead, right? And that kind of just helps her.
Yeah, I mean, usually shard in general, you just give it to your best core who can use it, and you just like
Yeah.
accelerate their game. You stack net worth.
Unless you're a support Leshak. That shard
true.
is insane. Matthew, zip in. Cold, instantly dies. Panda Boo's shield will not do anything, and now Panda Boo is in a lot of trouble as he tried to save his Mirana position 4. Dark Mago gonna just pop his BKB and TP out. No, wait, they don't have reveal? No way.
They
Abaddon
don't
actually
reveal,
gets out
and
with a glimmer.
there's a gem on the ground right there. They
What?
did manage to
Oh,
pick
yeah,
it up
there
after the
is.
Mirana died.
No.
So very fortunate for NoPing. I think they're going to be able to recover the gem.
That's a little embarrassing.
Have you
for
ever thought
Unknown.
about after you win a fight like this and the gem drops, instead of picking it up, you sort of like stay around out of the gem vision and sort of bait it, just kill them when they come pick it up? 'Cause that's what I was thinking just now. Like, why
Yeah.
just stood around? That'd be so funny.
Yeah, you can do that. DD Angel, he sees Oscar. Oscar forces off the pill, and Angel just doesn't care. Just gets up there too. Does have a BKB available. Use the second waveform thanks to his level 25 talent. Oscar, thanks to his magic resist, gonna be able to live through that E-Blade combo. Third waveform coming on. Oh, nice X mark. Pulling him back. That's gonna let Oscar live. The hook shot will miss as well. All right, they actually get away from here. Now gonna control this high ground. Unknown plant their own vision and sentry, D-ward, NoPing, and they just want to play towards this third Roshan, which could potentially have an Aghanims.
Yeah, for sure. If I was Prada, I really want my Tidehunter to hold some detection right now. Storm's
For
being a
sure.
good boy, he has a dust, but
Good
honestly,
boy.
like I think
Pat.
they need a gem, right? Like the dust gets shielded off, and then sometimes you're not gonna get kills that you should.
Oh, are you telling me that they could have really used that gem that fell on the floor?
That would have been really good.
It's such a huge swing too when you steal your enemy's
is.
gem.
It is so huge for the map
1800
control.
gold. Oh no, Dark Willow. Whew. That was so close. He Shadow Realms. But he gets hit with the Torrent. I don't think they have any follow-up though. That's the problem with NoPing's draft. They're very static, like a tank. You know, they just bulldoze through things, but they're not very agile.
Yeah, they're really all in on playing around HFN, just having him frontline and tank it up. But the one thing is, like, once Luna has this butterfly, I don't think he's scaling anymore, right? Like, he has an AC queued up. He'll probably change that because I believe Dark Mega already has one.
Yep.
But
And
he doesn't have any
he
item
also
slots
doesn't have
left.
spider legs on his team.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man. Clockwork, arrowed. He tanked it for the Tidehunter. And now he's gonna hook shot out. They feel very awkward in this engagement. Angel now turning into the Dark Willow, going in. They delete Matthew. Now they're focusing Viper. Oh, what a fear right there. Gonna push him straight into the Morphling. And that's gonna allow them to kill the Viper. Abaddon is next. After that borrow time goes down, this Roshan is up in 10 seconds. 10 seconds, Curtis. What can NoPing do with this?
That's a beautiful fight from Unknown there. About the Roshan, I don't think you can contest it. There's just 3 heroes dead. The only thing you can do is exactly what HFN is already doing. He's just split pushing all the lanes, trying to put any pressure he can, but this Roshan's gonna die instantly. Morphling does so much damage at this point.
And
A
you
bit
also have
faster
Thorn
hit the
Spirit
Willow.
on Unknown.
Oh,
that
there's
can
an
just like
Aghanims.
stop the split push. Is it? Oh, who's gonna get it? Is it
gets
Tidehunter or the Dark Willow? I think you give it to Tide or Dark Willow, right?
Yeah, I think
Everyone else
I
already
think
has one.
Tidehunter, to be honest. It's not that hype, to be honest. They would have. This is one of the rare scenarios where I feel like they would have preferred the Refresher.
I mean, it's mainly because the Storm already bought an axe.
Oh wait, is
Right?
Morphling taking it just to like you get your gold
No,
back,
please
right?
don't do it. Please don't do it. No, you don't get the gold back. You sell your
Yeah,
axe
you
for
get
2,000
sorry,
gold.
you get like 2,000 gold back.
Please don't do
He's
that.
doing
That's like
it.
the greediest.
He did
No,
it.
he gave it to someone
No, he
else.
gave it to someone.
He
Okay,
gave
never mind.
He gave it to the clock.
Okay.
Oh,
I can
okay.
see that,
They
actually.
gave it to the
Clockworks.
5.
Okay.
Overclocking,
I mean, it's a
yeah.
lot of stun through BKB, right? You can basically disable Luna for almost her entire 6-second BKB.
Yeah, you can. I can agree with that.
Oh, and look at Angel.
That's pretty
look
nice.
Look at his inventory. You notice how there's a spider legs just giving him an extra ethereal blade, effectively? Like, what a crazy item.
Uh-huh. Yep. It's broken. And look at the HFN just sitting there. Very
Yeah,
sad
look
in
at
his base.
I mean, he should have outskilled him and got his own spider legs, right? But with that said, like, he can still outcarry this Morphling in this game. Like, they can still out-execute them just because... I think it's a lot because of this Viper. If they manage to take an engagement where they can burst Tidehunter, maybe away from tower so he can't buy back and TP in, they can definitely still win engagements. I think the other win condition is actually killing the Willow. Like, if you kill Willow before Morphling can transform into her, that's a lot of the fight gone from Unknown.
But that's the hard part. Like, how do you get to the Willow? She's like 2 screens away.
Oh.
And Tidehunter, oh, gonna get X mark, arrow. Toxin already on the floor, stun. Nice spear onto 4 heroes, and then you get the nice electric vortex too. Follow up, and the waveform comes through, and the hook shot. They're just permanently stunned right there. They're gonna pop the cogs, but they don't manage to bring any of the heroes down. Viper very low. The 2 BKBs from the Luna and the Kunkka, they're gonna try and walk away. That bolt buff was so helpful for them. And now comes out the Ravage, and there's a big another team fight stun. HFN, he's being soloed by this Morphling right now. HFN is in ethereal form. He's alive, and he's gonna take the fall now. Kunkka is gonna be the next target, and the Abaddon also gonna fall. And that's it. That's 3 deaths. They all have buybacks. They're gonna walk down mid lane, go for the high ground there. You know, if it wasn't for the bolt buff, right before they got that massive terrorize into Electric Vortex and Cogs, they would have all been dead right there.
For sure. No, both did work that game, but it's still with the buybacks. Like we talked about the win condition, killing this Tidehunter before the fight started, but he had buyback, so he manages to come into a fight, land that sort of clutch ravage at the end. And I mean, Unknown, they executed that fight really well because I think their planning was good. Like they knew that even if Willow or Tidehunter got caught there, they can still take the fight because of buyback.
And this is a really scary situation for NoPing right now. If they buy back and die, the game's over. But if they expose any of the heroes too far forward trying to defend this, they're just going to keep losing heroes. And this Viper does not have a buyback.
They still have Aegis on the Morphling too. He did not lose it during this last fight.
Yeah, that was a very one-sided fight. Oh, there it is. Prada goes in. Buyback forced out on the Kunkka. Luna still holding hers. They're focusing the Viper. Viper does not have a buyback if he dies here. Angel gonna pop his BKB. Still holding on to that Aegis. Oscar with that flicker staying alive. No, it's not gonna be enough. And in the backlines, Mirana leaping away, but she does not have any more leaps left. She's actually trying to pull them away from their base, and Unknown are just gonna let her go. Storm is out of mana. They don't really have any potential for Robo Z to chase there. And Luna is going to be up without having to use her buyback. So very well played there on NoPing just to lose the Viper from all that. And one set of racks only.
Yeah, they also had to spend the Kunkka buyback, but I think overall you're happy with that. Not having to spend your Luna's buyback is like pretty much worth everything in the late game. Like your carry's buyback completely controls how you can play in the game. There's an Arcane Rune top.
He's going to have confidence to continue to stay up front, right? Because if he had the buyback there, we would have probably seen him queue up a Rapier next. Because there's no other way that he's going to be able to win this game.
I mean, you just, honestly, having to buy back on Luna, I'm going to say is like one of the worst carries to buy back on. She's a hero, as we were mentioning, like you have to play in front. And if you have no buyback, like the enemy can literally expend every single spell on you, even to lose all the heroes. Buybacks. Yeah, and then they'll just buy back and win the game, right? Because your carry's dead.
It looks like HFN having to buy his own Aghanim's Blessing. He's going to consume that. Still doesn't have that shard either. And this is just feels really bad in general for NoPing because they couldn't get that last Aegis themselves.
I'm a bit surprised he doesn't have the shard yet, especially when you have Satanic.
Yeah, me too.
I think you just use Satanic, you use it, it's basically a full heal. Like you can beam next to creeps, and because of how armor and lifesteal works, you just lifesteal a lot from the Aghanim shard.
Oh. They see the Kunkka here, the E-Blade him combo. He's lost a little bit of his HP. He's going to get healed up by Pandaboo. They are fighting into Unknown's Vision now. Tidehunter going to get used and jump in from the Storm, stopping the follow-up. Nice 3-man Vortex, and then the Viper and Mirana just get absolutely blown up before the buff comes out. 2 buybacks. Dark Willow also dying. Going to buy back here. Terrorize onto the Luna. Luna does not have a BKB anymore. Pandaboo, he's got that ulti. He's going to pop it now. HFN on the retreat here. Storm Spirit is back in the base. TPing because not a man up gonna take a fall, almost like E-Blade. Still for now. There's the Gush, finishing them all. 4 heroes of NoPing still alive. They do not want to run into NoPing's Vision on the side of Unknown, waiting for the Storm to zip in. Nice 2-man Vortex once again, and then you have Angel zipping in, killing off the Kunkka. Viper so squishy at this stage in the game. HFN gonna pop the Satanic, try to turn this around. It doesn't have a BKB, isolated all by himself. There's the Trickster's Cloak, keeping him alive for a little bit, but doesn't matter. There's a gem on the Tidehunter. Focusing the Luna. Luna gonna get glimmered up now, shielded. Pandaboo gonna run the other way since he doesn't have buyback. And Luna doesn't have buyback, right? She dies here. Oh, TPL! Okay, nope, not gonna happen. Angel had just enough mana to be able to stun him up. And that might just be it. We saw the Luna buy that Ag's Scepter upgrade. So a lot of her gold was already spent. Only 600 left. And it looks like they're just gonna go straight for the throne.
Yeah, just another fight, just really patient from Unknown. You saw, they're sort of like, I like to call it stalking, right? Like where you sort of stay close enough, and you're not overcommitting. You sort of, you're ready to engage, and they never overcommitted before the Storm came in for that finishing pull. They could have lost the game there if they sort of go in too early without Morphling having ulti or BKB. But instead they just play it patient, they just win a clean fight.
I also loved how they just baited them into their Vision on the top side. And as soon as they yield the Tide, they know in 2 seconds they're going to go all in on him. So the Storm zips in, uses the Vortex, and just makes the fight impossible for NoPing because now they could not kill the Tide as they planned.
A little bit of, I think, friendly all chat, I'm assuming, coming in from the the two teams, and that was a really good game. Just overall, really high skill and good team fighting.
I've been very impressed with all the games so far in this South American TI qualifiers right now. Unknown, they're showing that they're not a team to mess around with, and NoPing, I feel like they're gonna have to step up with their drafting. But right now, we got a quick break, and we'll be back with the panel to explain more what happened in this game.